What's up everyone, Wizard Ken here with another Xbox 360 World of Tanks. Now today we're going to do something completely different. We're not going to be showcasing any tanks or anything like that, or like playing wise. We actually are going to be answering someone's question. They asked me if I would show off my tanks and then also show off my stats so they could see what it was. And you know what, I have some time to be able to do that, so let's do that. Also, before I start out, real quick guys, in the next couple days I will be announcing the next subscriber party. It will be happening very soon, so I'm sorry for the late you know, notification, but it will be happening not next week but the next week after. I think it's going to be on the Sunday. I finally got my days off changed, so what I need you guys to tell me is, one, would you rather it be on Sunday or would you rather it be on Monday on the holiday off? I believe the Monday I'm talking about is, let me check my handy dandy phone, let's see, is going to be on the 1st. So do you guys want to do it on August 31st or September 1st? I don't know how long I'm going to be able to play for, but we are going to be doing platoon battles, so I will get you all the information possibly tomorrow or the next day. I'm just gonna have to write it up and stuff like that, but we will be doing platoon battles on one of those days. So let me know in the comments which days you want, August 31st or September 1st. I need to know because I do have family things I have to work around that too. So anyways guys, the next thing is HD Sniper. You guys don't know him, but he sent me a message on Xbox also stating that he's getting laser eye surgery. Now I usually don't sit there and try to, you know, talk about, you know, people's personal life and this and that, but you know what, we're all a community, we're all a family on this, and laser eye surgery can be a scary thing, and it's also an awesome thing because, you know, you're getting your eyesight fixed. Unfortunately, I was never able to get that because my eyes are messed up in other ways. So, but I just want everybody to know, you know, wish him good luck and stuff like that. If you're friends with him or anything like that, we wish you the best and can't wait to have you back. Alright guys, so now let's get into our tanks. So of course, I have the T1E6X, which we were given during the August Bonanza thing, and it was not a bad tank. I actually love using this tank. I use it just for the ×2. I might play it a little bit after that, maybe a couple rounds if I'm bored, but I usually just use it for the ×2 because this thing can get me about 5,000 experience points that I can convert. Now the cool thing is the gold rounds on this, they're kind of expensive, but once you get them all in there, it's not that bad to have to replenish like 20 or 40,000 sometimes a game. But if you use gold rounds in this thing, hint hint, you're gonna pen everybody that you pretty much face. There's only been a couple tanks that have ricocheted a couple rounds, but usually there's other rounds that are going through them. So it's a pretty badass tank that I use just to get experience points. You wouldn't think I would, but I actually do get a pretty decent amount on this thing. So the Freedom tank, I still use this tank. It's like I said, all my premium tanks are just there for the ×2 experience. There's only really one tank that I use all the time as a premium tank, just to get silver. Remember, premium tanks can build up your silver like crazy if you get a decent one that you really like and know how to play. So just remember that when you guys are looking for premium tanks, and I'll show you which one I love to use for my silver building. Of course, the M12 is my Arty, American Arty tier 7. Now this one I've actually been just playing, you know, here and there, usually just to get the ×2, and then I'm done with it. This one, like I was, you know, this one is more like my, you know, mess around tank when I get a chance to kind of thing. This one I'm building up, not using free XP. I've done everything on this tank without building up or using free XP. So it's taken me a little bit longer. Plus, I'm not focusing on it. So just so you guys know, I've had this for quite a while now, and I've only gotten it up to 65,000. So this is what happens when I tell you guys to only focus on one tank, because if you don't, that will happen. You will not get through a tank very quickly. Of course, we're not even going to talk about the AT-15A. It is the demon bastard child that I hate so much. But I don't sell it because I actually had to pay for it. So as you can see, I didn't do the ×2 today on it because I actually had about 30 battles today, and 25 of them were wins, and I did not want this one to piss me off today. Yeah, this one's just shit. Of course, you guys know the 1815 that we are working on in our series, and we should have the tortoise by tomorrow. Now, whether I keep this tank or not, I don't know. I may or may not keep it. It's a decent tank, but I usually keep tier 9s and tier 10s of tanks. Now, this is the premium tank that I was talking about, the Jag Tiger 88. This one is actually really, really nice. Me and Roy use this a lot to build up our silver, and also this thing can stand toe-to-toe with tier 9s. It's a pretty mean tank. If you're planning on buying a premium tank and you don't have one, this one is a very nice one to have if you're worried about buying one and it being crap. The low isn't a bad one either, but I would still like this one over the low. Now, you guys remember this one from my German tank destroyer line that I went up previously. It is the Waffenträger of Panzer IV, the tier 9. It is an awesome tank. That's why I kept it. I do play this a decent amount, and I get a pretty good amount of silver and experience points with this tank. So, another nice one I like keeping. Of course, the Waffenträger of E100, built off of the E100 chassis. Very nice tank. This one is not a silver builder because of the amount of rounds that you go through at each battle. You can possibly even go negative even if you win a battle. But this one, I just use it mostly just to gain experience, like the ×2. And then I try not to touch it too much unless I'm like, screw it, I want to play it. Or if Bubba wants to play it or something like that. But we usually don't mess with this one, but so much. This one actually does not help us with our silver problem. The Churchill 3, I'm just going to go over lightly because I have not done a video on this one. But this is also a very nice one to have for a premium tank, and we'll talk about that in another video. The KV-1S, guys, this is my pride and joy, my awesomeness, my everything. This is my #1 tank out of all my tanks. I'm glad to have. It's the KV-1S. This thing is a beast. It has destroyed a lot of tanks. It has gotten me a lot of hit points. I mean, this thing is just my everything. Even when I've already done the ×2, I will use this tank because I know I'm going to get amazing amount of experience points and amazing amount of silver just by playing this tank. This is my pride and joy. Even over my IS-7, this one comes first. Number 2 is my IS-7, and number 3 is my IS-3. IS-6, I have stopped using this tank altogether pretty much. I take it out once in a blue moon. I have not done very well with it. My win and defeat ratio with this thing is terrible. It used to be a very badass tank, but I feel that because of people using it a lot and a lot of people being able to go after it, have learned how to destroy it pretty easily, and it has turned into basically one of those, it's just going to collect dust in the garage. Like I said, my IS-3 is my second favorite. The only thing bad about it and why it's not #1 is because it does get tiered into tier 10, and a lot of the tier 10s can blow this up in like 2 hits very easily. And also my KV-1S, I've been getting tiered usually in just the tier 6 battles. This one I've been getting tier 10 and tier 9 all the time. I have barely gotten any just tier 8s with this thing, but it's still a nice tank, and that's why I keep it. Now the IS-7, the very first tier 10 I've ever unlocked, is a very badass tank. It's only my top third that I like the most because it does a lot of damage. You know, I do very well with it. The problem is once again, you're playing against other tier 10s, and if like a T110 tank destroyer or the Jag E100 gets you, I mean, you're gonna be dead within 2 shots with those things. They're very devastating tanks against this one. The only benefit about this one over them is usually I'm a lot better with close quarters, like getting around buildings quicker, being able to outmaneuver them and this and that. And I still do really well with this tank. I very rarely lose money or experience with this tank. And last but not least, my S51. I will be doing a video on this one too, so we're not going to talk about it too much, but it is a pretty badass tank. It has a tier 9 barrel on it, and it does do a really nice amount of damage. I think the max damage is like 1,850 or something like that. It's something ridiculous. So it's a pretty badass tank. It is a arty, and I will show you that one on another video. It comes from the KV2 line. So now let's go and look at my stats. Alrighty guys, so here's my stats, and real quick we're going to talk about just the overall stats, and then I'll just go through slowly on each tank so you could look at the different stats, and then on certain ones that I really love the most, I'll talk about them a little bit. Now, the overall stats is one thing you guys need to be aware of, because this is what I'm going to be basing the platoon or the clan that we're going to be building for EMKnights off of. The amount of battles that you guys have been in, the amount of, or your hit ratio, and enemies destroyed. Now, there isn't a column that says like how much damage you've done in a battle. That one, we're just going to have to base it off of the buddy system, the trust system, the you guys tell me the truth kind of thing. Tell me like what your average, you know, pretty much of in each battle. Is it, you know, usually about 4,000? Like I do an average between 2,000 to 4,000 damage each battle. I say that because it's not rare that I get up to 6,000 or 7,000 or even 10,000. It's just my base average with all my tanks is between 2,000 and 2,000, 4,000, 2,000, 5,000, something like that. So, but anyways, I'm gonna be doing judging you guys on your hit ratio and your enemies destroyed based on your battles. Your hit ratio is very important because we don't need somebody that has done tons of battles but their hit ratio is like 50% or 60%. We want somebody, you know, at least like 65 on up, 68 on up, just because the hit ratio really shows that you are hitting tanks all the time. You're not just randomly shooting at spots on the tank. You actually know where you're hitting a tank and this and that. Also, enemies destroyed is a kind of a bad one to base this off of, but at least we know that you're at least at least attempting to kill more enemies in battles. You know, at least like mine is like 1.5 tanks a battle. But I know I can sit there and say I do at least, you know, 2,000 to 4,000 damage every single battle easily. And I can sit there and say, okay, well that's cool. Well, at least I know you're going to do a lot of damage, because I do a lot of damage and people steal my kills. So that's why we do it. We kind of do the buddy system on how you guys, you know, you tell me how much damage you guys have done. Anyway, so let's go through these tanks and we'll talk about them. Now, it's my point to have on almost every tank that I have, I want to make sure I get a mastery badge. Some of them I don't, like the tier 2s, tier 4s. I don't care about them that much, but the, you know, the main ones I play all the time, I'm going to get a mastery badge on. So let's go through them and look at them. Of course, you know, I got a mastery badge on this one. Freedom tank, almost there. The M12. 1815A. I got lucky on the mastery badge on that one. I'll be honest with you. It was very lucky. Okay, the 1815. Now, I have a hit ratio of 78 with this one. This one I'm not happy with. I want it to be like 80 something. At least 80% would be happy with me, because this is a very accurate tank. It's very mean and nasty, and I should have a better score than this. So, of course, you can see the 8.8. Now, a lot of people are like, hey, your hit ratio is not that high. This one is accurate to an extent. It still likes to swivel off here and there. But as you can see, I've had 63 battles and 101 kills. I've done pretty damn good with this one. The reason why my victories aren't that high is because, once again, it all depends on my team and this and that. And that's another reason why we don't go by victories and defeats, is because you're not the one out there in the game causing the entire team to lose, you know. I mean, you could be one of the dominoes that screws it up, but majority of the time it's just your team fucking everything up. And that's why I don't go by the victories and defeat. Alright, let's see. The waffle, the tier 9. Of course, that one is 74%. That's actually pretty decent for the type of gun that it has. It does like the veer left and right here and there, or drop, but it's not a bad tank. As you can see, I haven't used it a lot, but I am still ahead of enemies destroyed than I do battles. But also, like I said, the hit ratio is pretty nice with it. Now, my E100, as you can see, this one's actually going to be a lot better once I get more and more battles underneath it. But I've done 57 battles and 101 kills, so I usually kill about 2 people a game with this tank. Hit ratio is 76. It should be about 80%, just like the 1815, because it does have the accuracy that it should be a lot better than that. So, but of course, my victories and defeats are crappy with this one because, of course, it goes with your team. But you can see that I do very, especially like another thing for the honor system, like tell me that you do a lot of damage. You know, a lot of these badges that you get, like mastery badges, is because you do a lot of damage. You've mastered that tank out, and you know, I can show that I've done a lot of mastery badges, or I'm very, very close to it. So, Churchill 3, not very much to it because I've only used it 3 times. KV1S. Now, this is one I really want you guys to look at. Look at how many battles I have. 197. How many enemies have I destroyed? 380. Just imagine what damage percentage I would have for this tank. Pretty badass one. I can tell you that right now. If I could look at the damage that I do overall, this would be a badass tank. IS-6, terrible tank. IS-3, once again. I could be better with my, you know, enemies destroyed, but look at my hit ratio, 82%. This tank means that my tank skills with this one is pretty badass. I'm always hitting. I know how the bullets are going to react and this and that. It's a very, very, very good tank that I have. Like, it's still not as good as the KV1S for me, but it's, like I said, this is second place for me. Now, of course, the IS-3. Once again, look at that hit ratio, 81%. That means I'm hitting all the time. Pretty much every single shot that's going down is hitting all the time. Of course, I don't have as many destroyed as battles. I mean, I have 246 out of 208, but I mean, it's a tier 10. You're going to be facing tier 10s majority of the time. I do. Tier 9s and tier 10s. Majority of my things with this is, like I said, the hit ratio, where I'm hurting a lot of people. I'm doing a lot of damage with this tank. I'm just not getting the, you know, kills, you know. And I'll show you this in a second. Actually, you know what? I'll show you that right now. My last battle was with Crazy Roy. As you can see, he's in second place, and I'm in 5th place. Now, to be honest with you, it wasn't Crazy Roy playing. It was his son, and we're just going to say he kicked ass, but this is what you need to look at. He did 2,923. Pretty much 3,000 damage, okay? And 5 kills. A lot of those kills were probably people that were already damaged and this and that. That's why he got what he got. But look at what I've been doing. Almost 5,000 damage on this level. Look at the bottom left. Shots fired. 15 direct hits, 14 penetration, 10. So I'm hitting every single time almost, except for 1 round. So that's pretty damn good. I might not, and the penetration rounds do count for something, but the thing is, you can't always, you're not going to be 100% accurate with your gun. It's always, the bullet's always going to stray left, right, up, or down, or something like that. So direct hits is really what matters the most to me, is that you're actually hitting the tank. Now if I see that, you know, you have 14 direct hits and only 5 penetrations, then I'm gonna be sitting there thinking, hey, you should have done a lot better than that. I mean, you went crazy with your shots. You weren't even trying to hit the weak spots on a tank, you know. I'm trying to find somebody that kind of did that. Okay, here we go. The Carnarvon. I mean, look at this guy. 13 hits every single time, but only 6 pen. I mean, come on. Find a different spot to shoot at. So, anyways, moving on. S51. It's not going to be amazing because, of course, it's an Arnie. So, but I have to admit, 23 battles, 26 kills. So every battle I've killed at least one person. So, not a bad little tank. T-34, you guys haven't seen me use that because I was going to do videos on those, but I decided to do a different route. IS-7, I mean the IS, not the greatest. I don't care for that tank that much. I don't know, I just feel like it lacks something. And as you can see, we're getting near halfway now. IS-8 I did okay with, but not amazing with. And then a lot of these tanks you're going to see 0 or very, like this one, very limited battles because I just passed it real quick. I freak speed it, and I could have done a lot better with them. But even for just the battles I did, I mean I still got almost the main mastery badge with them. So T-23, M3 Lee. I have a lot of tanks that I went through. A lot of tanks. The T-29 used to be my favorite tank for a long time, but I feel like Wargaming nerfed that tank. I really do. I feel like it's not as potent as it used to be, and that's why a lot of us have sold the T-29, because it's not there anymore. It really isn't. So, but as you can see, I have a lot of tanks. There we go. That's the very end. But I have a good amount of mastery badges in there, at least on the ones that I focus on mostly. So, anyways, guys. So that was all my tanks, guys. That was my tanks. That was my stats for every single tank I have. You know, I wish I had a damage report for you guys, but I don't. I really don't, and that sucks because I would love to show off how much damage I've done in some of these tanks. So, but like I said, we'll figure out the Clan Wars thing soon enough. And just so you guys know, Wargaming is planning on getting this platoon system into a more serious thing. They've even stated it in some of their blogs where they want the platoon battles to become just like the PC one, where it's a just Fallout badass team Clan Wars kind of thing. So they're not doing this like somebody put in my comments before, oh, it's just for fun and this and that. No, they're actually trying to get this set up to make this into something legit. And that's what I'm wanting to jump on this as soon as possible. So, anyways, guys, I'm Wizard Ken, and I know I forgot something, but I can't remember what it was. Until next time, see ya.